Housing prices in the U.S. are just insane, okay? They have skyrocketed over the past 18 months. But on a relative basis, are housing prices in the U.S. actually cheap? New data suggests they could be. I'll share that and more coming up. My name's Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. There is no surprise. Housing prices are just skyrocketing, okay? They've gone up. It's just an absurd number over the past 18 months. Over the past 12 months, housing values are up, call it 20%. Okay, rents are up nearly the same as well. Take a look at this chart. This is apparently on record, going back decades. This is the worst time to buy a house based on those surveyed as well. So that's insane. And no wonder, right? We've seen prices, like I said, skyrocket 20% over the past year, even more when you include, the 18 months or since the pandemic low when no one even wanted to go in someone else's house, let alone, sell theirs and buy someone else's. But when you also look at mortgage rates, right? Take a look at these. We all know the average 30-year rate is now well above 5%. And so when you combine all that together, housing affordability has just plummeted, and it's an awful time to buy a house, okay? Right? So prices are high. We all know that. But what if they're not, right? What if housing prices here in the U.S. are higher? Yes, higher than where they were a year ago or 2 years ago. But on a relative basis, what if I told you housing values in the U.S. are more moderate? They're not expensive when you compare it to other markets. Take a look at these charts. When you look at the housing prices and how those have grown, but as it relates to actual real disposable income, yes, you can see we're at a troubling point here in the U.S., right? Housing values have caught up with real disposable income, and that's going to pinch the consumer. But take a look at that in the U.S., but then compare it to Canada. Compare it to Canada. Look at how the housing values compared to disposable income is just totally not even close. It's in a whole different environment than what we're dealing with in the U.S. Same in England, same in Australia, same in the UK, same in Australia. Guys, relatively, the U.S. has it good. Yes, prices are up significantly, but my goodness, we have it good. I mean, take a look at Canada. Our friends and allies to the north, right? It is absurd how values have completely detached, housing values have completely detached from disposable income, making housing less affordable. And yes, that's challenging and less affordable here in the U.S., but it is unaffordable many other developed nations across the world. Now, given the amount of land that the U.S. has, populated land, as opposed to Canada, where certain areas aren't very dense and all of that, this should be expected, right? We've got more space than certainly the United Kingdom, but it's still surprising that on a relative basis, even after this huge increase we've seen in U.S. housing values, housing prices, from a relative basis, compared to disposable income, still relatively cheap compared to other places around the world. All right, so what are some of the takeaways from this? Well, number one, yes, on a relative basis, the U.S. housing prices compared to other places throughout the world, yeah, is a little more manageable, a little more moderate. But at the same time, if you dig deeper into the chart of the U.S., we're back at that level where housing values compared to disposable income near where things were back in 2008, right? Near the real estate bubble. So we got to be watchful for that. And then specifically for you, the takeaway is make sure that your housing decisions, which is likely one of your major financial goals, is working in concert with the other financial goals that you have. One of the greatest examples of this that I had is early on in my career was working with a younger couple. They had some pretty big goals. They wanted to upgrade their house. They wanted to move down to a one-income household, wanted the spouse to be able to stay at home with the kids, and wanted to be able to send those kids to college and be able to retire. Those four financial goals together, there's a lot of folks that share the similar goals, okay? Well, they got to a point where they could, in their budget, increase the size of their home. They could move into a nicer home, okay? The problem was it wasn't going to, if they did that, they weren't going to be able to save as much as they wanted to towards retirement. What'd they do? They moved into that bigger home. Okay. As his income continued to grow, they then made the next decision that, well, we can drop down to just one income. But they still, despite all of that financial progress, they were still saving $100 a month when their financial plan said they needed to be saving $1,000 a month for retirement. So the big idea, especially as housing prices and mortgage rates, so overall affordability for houses is very, goes down. Affordability is going down. Make sure that your housing decisions fit within your overall financial plan. I get it. With interest rates higher and with housing prices higher, you might need to make some sacrifices in order for everything to fit. But that's better than saying, well, this big goal is going to overshadow or crowd out your ability to accomplish other financial goals. Work with your CFP, make sure everything is working in concert and you have synergy in all 6 areas of your financial life as you strive to make progress in your major financial goals. If you don't have a CFP on your team that can help you with that, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com, that's Korhorn with a K, wisemoneyshow.com, you can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.